like a window, no window, look at the video, say to yourself, that could have been you.
Because they're like,
this is Sanya On-Air.
And everybody on the East Coast calls me Don. I'm like, what is Don?
My mom thought I was on Long Island, but I was at Howard Homecoming.
Ready?
Turn it up.
Let's go. Welcome, everyone. You are now tuned into another amazing, fabulous edition of Sanya On-Air. I'm your host, SanyaHudson Payton. And children, how do I start off each and every single show? You guessed it. I have another great show for you. Coming up in just a few short moments, I have the beautiful Madonni Payton-Williams. Now, please don't tell me that you don't know who she is, because you can catch her slaying and also revealing more about her personality, which we've been waiting for too. You can catch her every Saturday night on the #1 OWN series, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know you're excited. You're excited. Destiny, this season, she's really giving us a lot more. She understood the assignment. It's giving. So Destiny's going to be joining us in just a few short moments. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to Sanya On-Air. Make sure that you subscribe to Sanya On-Air, which streams across every major streaming platform. Sanya On-Air streams across YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, Pandora, Alexa. Darling, I'm getting tired, but you get the drift. Head on over to every single streaming platform and make sure that you subscribe to Sanya On-Air. But don't stop there, children. Don't stop there. Because you should not be tired by just subscribing. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you post a comment and share it. Share it, loves. Share it with everyone that you know, okay? Let them know that you are tuned in to Sanya On-Air, the #1 home to celebrity interviews and entertainment. Child. So I hired 3 high school interns. Let me tell you, this was intentional. These kids, they have their pulse, the pulse. Okay, check your pulse. They have their pulse on social media. I don't know. And they have me tick-tocking just about every single day. And you know what? It's kind of fun. It's really just showing a different personality. I'm just really not serious at all, except when I'm supposed to be. But most of the time I'm, laughing, I'm joking at myself. So head on over to my TikTok on Sanya On-Air and join in on the amazing fun. It's showing a lot of my celebrity interviews, but it's also showing Sanya in the city. I go around New York City and I just live. I look for new and exciting things to do. Speaking of new and exciting things to do, I went roller skating recently in Newark, New Jersey. Amazing roller skating ring. I'm telling you, it just took me back to when I could roller skate and I didn't care if I fell. Now if I fall, child, guess what's going to happen? Well, it did happen. Let me tell you what happened. Imagine this. I put on my roller skates, right? I laced them up. Woo! I get to the roller skating ring. I put one leg out. That was the right leg, if you didn't know. Followed by the left leg. But my body said, whoo, child, I just need you to fall all the way back and lay down. I fell all the way back onto the back of my head. When I tell you, the sound echoed throughout the entire roller skating rink. I was embarrassed to the point where I was like, I'm not just going to lie here and have them call the ambulance. And my daughter's watching. Oh, I'm going to show her how we fall down, but we get up. So I got back up and I started roller skating. I got the groove. I was going around. I skated the entire, 2 or 3 hours. Even though my head was a little sore, a little headache, a little nausea. But this is one thing about Black women that we have to stop doing. We have to stop ignoring our bodies. So I was ignoring my body for 6 days. And then I decided, you know what? This headache isn't going away. Let me go to urgent care. When I told the nurse and the doctor that I fell flat on my head 6 days ago, and I still have a headache and blurred vision and a little nausea, and they did the x-rays, Miss Hudson, you have a concussion. So yeah, I got a concussion. Living my best life. So if you want to see why I'm getting concussions and why I'm laughing so hard and why I'm still Sanya in the city, make sure that you head over to my Sanya On-Air TikTok page and join in on the shenanigans. But we're going to take a few short commercial breaks, and we'll be right back with Sanya On-Air. Stay tuned. Instacart. Order groceries for delivery or pickup today using the special Sanya On-Air link. It's easy to shop. Select items from your favorite grocery store at instacart.com or in the app. Personal shoppers pick up your items with care. You can even chat with them as they shop and manage your order. Pick a convenient time for you and voila! Have your groceries delivered the same day. 100% quality on every order. You can also pay with EBT SNAP on Instacart and select retailers and get free grocery delivery or pickup on your first 3 orders of $35 or more EBT orders. Offer ends May 30th, 2022. This ad contains affiliate links and I will be compensated if you make a purchase clicking on my links. So for this episode of Sanya On-Air, the entertainment review is going to be a little bit different. Now, before it was just me talking about some of my favorite shows, and then I had guests. I had a fashion influencer, amazing, Kimmer Lynch. Make sure that you go find her on Instagram and make sure that you follow her. And she has something called Authentic Gold, a clothing line. It's amazing, amazing. Every time I watch her on Instagram, she gets it right every single time. But today's entertainment review, I'm going to be bringing in Meredith Leon McCormick. The pause was because I was like, I don't really know how to define her, because she's on one hand, she's my publicist, but on the other hand, she is a mover and shaker in media. She is the founder and CEO of World Bride Magazine, an international bridal magazine. This is rare. You don't really find a lot of successful magazines in 2022, but this woman of color, oh, she's doing it. She's doing it. So we're going to be just talking about Black women in media and the nuances that we face that you may not know about. And this is why it is so important that you engage with Black media content, that you also support responsible Black content, because what we are seeing is that the shenanigans is ruling, and the stakeholders, the people who are still holding the keys, who don't look like me, when they see the content that really shows us in a lower light, they assume that we are all the same way. So that when I go into meetings with television and film and any type of media icon or influencer or game changer, they don't want to see an articulate, successful Black woman show up. They want to see a Black woman who speaks with Ebonics, because that's just how she speaks. They don't want to see a code switcher. They just want me to speak using Ebonics all the time. So I don't really fit into their look. So we're going to be talking about it in just a few short moments. So why not just bring in Meredith now? And just as I promised to you earlier on in the show, today's entertainment review will be a little bit different. I have none other than Meredith Leon McCormick. She is the creative director of World Bride Magazine and also the founder of MLM Represent. Meredith, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Miss Sanya.
And also what I didn't include, absent-mindedly, is that you also represent me. And this is the conversation that I really want to have just about the space that Black women are navigating in media. I want us to talk about our experiences. They may be shared, they may be different. But because social media and this whole digital space is kind of reshaping itself, reimagining itself, there are girls who look just like us, who are leaning in closely to say, okay, let me avoid that stumbling block. Let me show up in that space a little bit differently. So I just want us to really have an authentic conversation because someone's leaning in and someone needs to know. So let's just talk about, how did you get started in this wonderful world of media?
Well, thank you so much for having me, first of all. And second, it's an honor to represent you because I am a huge fan of you, your work, and the conversations that you have highlighting the positive aspects and private aspects of celebrities and letting them hear, letting the public hear it from their own mouth and not from a paparazzi perspective where people can perceive, untold stories. So bravo.
Thank you.
So what brought me in the space was purely accidental, from the perspective of, I never initially went to school for it. I didn't plan it out. Oh, I'm going to be a journalist. I'm going to be a storyteller. I always knew I wanted to be in fashion, but I didn't know in what end. So for me, once I was in the space of fashion, when I started out, I was a celebrity manicurist and got into fashion producing and just working with a lot of celebrities from the print and commercial aspect of it behind the camera. I always knew there was a lack of representation for Black women. I am a Black woman, so I can only see through the lens of my own eye of what I look like when I'm in the mirror. So, but I'm also from the space where I don't force myself into areas that I don't feel invited. So I was encouraged, supported by white women who told me if I didn't like what they saw, that I should go out and create my own space and be a response to it. They weren't being negative. They weren't being nasty to me. They were being encouraging to me because they felt that I had something to say. And that's what brought me into this space. And I went to school after being married, after having children, and went to New York Technical College downtown in Brooklyn and started taking classes on fashion journalism, writing courses. Then I went to FIT. So those are the accidental things that kept happening, which weren't really accidental because I asked it in the universe and the universe responded to me. And then I got the opportunity to write for nail magazines. And then I got the opportunity to write for Huffington Post, which again reaffirmed to me that I belonged in this space, but I just wanted to do it on my terms.
Got it. There was something that you mentioned, it resonated with me when you decided to pivot. When someone said, if you are unhappy with the things that you are seeing, create your own space. And you said that was given to you, those words of advice were given to you by white women. So you didn't receive those type of words from Black women? Every Saturday night. I'm telling you, I am tuned in to OWN's Love and Marriage Huntsville. If I don't catch it Saturday, when I wake up Sunday morning, trust me, that is the first thing that I am watching. So to have Destiny join us on this show is super amazing because I don't just have to talk to her on the television. I can talk to Destiny in person.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, people, Chanel pen. Oh yeah, I'm peeping the fashion.
Okay, hey, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm super excited because every Saturday I'm talking to you via the television. Like that.
What are you telling me, to be good or girl? Yes. Are you
No,
all like
I love
you
it.
right?
I love it because let me tell you something. We are seeing the emergence of you. We're seeing you being more
The
comfortable.
emergence of me. Okay.
Yeah. In front of the camera. We're seeing you starting to share your truth. And I love it when a woman shares and stands in her truth unapologetically. But let's just go back a little bit. Huntsville,
Okay.
Huntsville, Alabama. Isn't that a
Mhm.
small town?
It is.
So,
It is a small town.
so how do you navigate being in a small town and people seeing you on television, probably swearing that they know you? How do you deal with that? People swearing they know you from Huntsville, Alabama.
Listen, I'm still trying to figure out. I'll be in the most random place just talking like I normally do to strangers because I never meet a stranger. And this happened to me last week, and I was talking to a gentleman who was a business owner, and I'm just talking away, and then at the end of the conversation, he said, "By the way, I know who you are," and I'm like, I'm still getting used to that. I'm still getting used to just people say, "Oh, hi, I know you," or whatever. It's weird,
Right.
but yeah.
So do you feel as if you can still be yourself when you walk out your door, or do you feel like you always have to put on for your city of Huntsville, Alabama?
Listen, I so I'm from many cities, so I only time I really feel like I have to put on is when I'm either in Detroit or Atlanta. But I would go to the mailbox in a bonnet and a muumuu, okay?
I know. My daughter just came from the grocery store in a bonnet, and she said, Mom, they probably thought
Now,
I
I
was
won't go in public with a bonnet. Now, that's not one of my pet peeves. I'm looking at girls like, please, we can do better.
Yeah, it was early in the morning.
Let your wig be your bonnet. Have a go-to wig to just throw on.
Because she's going to an event and she had to go purchase the meat. So she said, I'm going to go there. They opened up at 8 o'clock. She said, I'll be there at 8:01 so that no one can see me, because she knows we don't do that in this household. So it was just real quick. But once again, you are really just emerging on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, initially when you joined the cast, people wanted more. Are you starting to show more because fans wanted more, or because you felt more comfortable to show more?
I think it's just a natural progression of it all, because initially when I came on the show, I was brought in and just showcased as a friend. So it wasn't really much of me to be seen because I was supporting. And then, we were transitioning to my ex-husband and I being a part of the show, and that didn't work out. And then it was like, oh, so now I'm back to just being a supporting friend again. And so, but I think they lost destiny in that process. So now we're finding destiny in the process of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Wow. So I know, with editing, we're only going to see but so much. Do you feel as if the show is really showing the real destiny, or would you like to tell us who the real destiny is?
I feel like the show shows real sides of me, but I don't think they show me, as much of the core of who I am. They try to play this aggressive card continuously, and it's like, I want you to name any one of these women that haven't had a moment like me on the show. Name one.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like they're getting pieces right, but this whole desperate friend thing, like, I got a whole slew of people that I've been friends with for 25, 15 years. So just you'll get to see more of that. You'll get to see more of the real.
Got it. But I'm just going to be real about it. When it comes to the editing of the show and everyone's storyline, to me, there seems to be some favoritism going on. I see it. I'm just going to be real about it. I see the relationship that Melody has built with Carlos King, and it's evident.
Well, dang, just rip the Band-Aid off there, Sanya.
Be real about what I observe. I'm an avid television watcher, and I'm just unpacking what I see. And because of their relationship,
let's be clear. It was her and Martell's idea. So essentially, this is their show.
Got it.
But you know, keep going because we might have some. I might concur.
Yeah, because I do see, you know, even though she started the premise of the show, it does seem as if the storylines kind of favor her narrative, and everyone's narrative is kind of supporting hers. So, if you could have one suggestion for Carlos King as he develops everyone's narrative, what suggestion would you have for him?
I think it's just naturally going to happen. I can't give the king of reality any suggestions because he's the king. But I would just say he knows what he's doing, and it's happening naturally. What needs to be done next?
So let me ask a different question, but along the same lines. As you all prepare for the reunion, I'm not sure if you've filmed the reunion yet, but is there one question?
We're still filming.
So is there
we just started back.
So is there one question that you would want Carlos King to ask any of your cast members?
Have I not been who I said I was from the beginning? Ask the Scotts, ask Martell. And if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people saying the same thing and one person saying not, then what's true?
Right. And also what I didn't know, and I want you to talk about this a little bit more because the show didn't really highlight this. You've known Martell way longer than you've known Melody.
Martell made sure to mention that in one scene. You know, we've known each other for 20 years, and you know, however their divorce goes, yeah, he tried to, but I let him know that wasn't fair, and he hasn't put me in that position since then to try to choose sides.
Good.
But yes, I've known him since 10th grade, 9th or 10th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I always tell people the layers. His cousin married my cousin. They had 2 kids together. They're no longer married, but my goddaughter, which is from that marriage, I think it's his goddaughter too. I have to confirm that. And then my dad used to date his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I mean, we've been in weddings together. We just known each other since high school. So I mean, it's not like. And then I met Melody from him.
Right. Which
most of the people that are circled in I guess you would say around them were friends of his.
So for me, loyalty is big. There's a question, people often ask, which would you prefer, loyalty or respect? So which do you prefer, loyalty or respect?
With respect, you get loyalty. Because if you respect me, then you're going to be loyal to me. And I feel like I was good at keeping a balance with the two. Even though I knew Martell longer, there's still a thing called girl code. And so in developing love and a relationship with Melody, it was a code that I kept.
But there comes a time, Destiny, and I was talking about this a few weeks ago with a friend. Do you have to choose a side, with friends? And for me, it gets to a point where you do have to choose a side, just so that there won't be any type of confusion or frustration amongst friends. So because you've known Martell longer than you've known Melody, do you not feel that your loyalty should lie with Martell first?
That's such a hard question, but not at the same time. As far as my loyalty lies with who's loyal to me. So with that being said, I felt like because Martell's not a part of my everyday life, nor is Melody, there's family things that they do, maybe Easter egg hunt. Martell invited me and my son over too. He invites my ex-husband and my son over to do stuff. And Melody and she wasn't inviting my ex-husband, but of course she would invite me. So I felt like it could be a common ground for the both of us. But I mean, I know married people that have been married. I mean, actually even Lernell and Chris that are on the show who've been married for almost 30 years. I had a conversation with them about, how did they deal with people in relationships or marriages that went awry, and they were, still friends with each of them. And Nell was telling me it was hard, but, she had to come to grips after a relationship with one of their friends ended, and she was still loyal to the ex-wife, and the new wife was around because the guys are still hanging. And so you just find a balance. But ultimately, people make you choose if they're not comfortable in themselves and comfortable with the situation themselves. So that's what it is.
So you haven't chosen a side?
Oh, right now, I mean, I'm choosing my side. How about that? It's me and Law rocking. All right.
I heard that. So you did, briefly mention, and we know because we've been watching the show from season 1 up until, today, that you are now currently divorced. And one of the reasons of your divorce was because you didn't want to take his last name. If
You
you,
understand how silly that sounds? That's not accurate.
so
But go ahead.
so that wasn't one of the reasons why you two got divorced, because you refused to take his last name?
My name legally was Destiny Payton-Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of if I took his last name, my father is a Williams. So I'm a Williams regardless. So that was not the reason why we got a divorce. It was an area of contention that we experienced, but it wasn't the reason why we got a divorce.
So let's talk about that, the area of contention then, because I
don't want to.
I'm navigating through this.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm navigating through it because someone asked me, if you got married, would you take on your spouse's last name? And I'm just like, I'm not sure. Initially, it was a resounding no. Now I'm like, I'm not sure. And I'm talking to different married individuals who've gone through marriage and possibly divorce, because I need to know, is that a deal breaker in marriage? So if you could rewind the hands of time, would you not make that a conversation and just say, okay, I'll take on your last name, or would you still stand in your truth and say, no, I'm going to keep my name as is?
Well, I would say this. We had the conversation, and what I realized about my ex-husband is that he, in his kind-hearted approach with things, he would agree, and then he processes it later, and then though he may not tell me what he's really feeling in the moment, it'll come out in a space of where it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what? So it's like, we talked about this, and because of the nature of how he is, it's almost like, oh, I'm feeling like he agreed to what we talked about. And then when it comes to fruition, it's like, no, that's not what I said. And that's not how I feel. Or I changed my mind. So it was a lack of communication. But for me, I do ask that question now because I'm single and dating, kind of single. But and I talked to men about it, and they're like, some men are like, yeah, gung ho on. Excuse me, my allergy.
Mine too. Horrible.
Excuse me. Are like gung ho on, like, no, you gonna take my last name? And then I've had people say, listen, if you mind, you mind. So that name stuff, I don't mind a hyphen. So. And so in the next situation, it'll be a hyphen.
So now that I'm sorry, what were you going to say? You're going to finish?
Well, because my heart and my premise behind keeping my last name has not changed. Like, my brother, who was brutally murdered, is a Payton. My mother, who I haven't had much of a relationship with because of her drug addiction, is a Payton. So that's my way of staying connected to them. And by the grace of God, she is in recovery now. So I'm praying and hoping that journey continues upward. So that's my connection to them. And even when my dad got custody of me, I didn't change my name to Williams. I would have been Williams either way. I was like, no, Dad, I want to keep Payton. And as a father, he was, and me, I think I was probably 8 years old, and I'm, telling my stories to my dad, like, no, and when I become a singer, I want to be Destiny Payton. And when I get married, it's going to change anyway, Dad. So there's still no point in me changing it to Williams. Mm-hmm. And he bought it.
But the reason why I asked you that question is similar for me, and I'm sure that it's similar for other women of color. And I just wanted people to understand it's okay. People assume that I'm married because of Hudson Payne. I'm like, that's not the case. I was just explaining this to someone Thursday night, as a matter of fact. Hudson is my mom's maiden name. Payne is my dad's name. Although they were married for over 50 years, I wanted to pay homage to both sides of my family.
I wish I would have named Law Payton-Williams instead of Law Ace Williams.
You can change it. Because that's what my mom
I can, but the other parent has to consent, and that ain't happening.
I get it. So dating, how is dating life going for you now? Is it difficult?
How is dating life going?
Yeah. Oh, is he right there? Because you keep looking over there. Is that?
Oh, it's just a window. It's a window.
No, it ain't.
Dating life is good.
Okay, so where should a man take you on a first date that would really impress you?
Where should a man take me on a first date? Listen, I like to eat. I'm a foodie. So a good restaurant, nice ambiance. I mean, in this conversation, I'm extra, but I'm really simple.
So if a guy tried to have sex with you on a first date, would you do it?
Wait a minute, dang, Sonya. If a man tried to have sex with me on the first date, I mean, just jump right on in. I mean,
we grown.
We real grown. So I mean, if the vibe is there, I mean, it's been. I said it was, didn't I? 2 years.
Oh, it was. You just got your tune up. I'm still waiting for mine.
I'm just saying, 2 years. If the vibe is right, you might, but it really had to be right. Yeah.
You got it. So when do you know when it's time for your new boo to meet law? When will you know?
When will I know when it's time for my new boo to meet law? What new boo? I didn't say anything about a new boo. Look at you trying to trip me up.
We know you got a boo, Destiny. You too fine.
I'm too fine to not have a boo. Or what?
Either a boo or a situation. We know you got somebody calling.
Listen, I got a baby. I can't do situations. It got to be some real stuff now. You can't do no situations.
I hear that.
So I would say, when is it time? I mean, I'm a vibe person. So when it gets to a certain level, I feel like, then they have to meet my other part of my world. So because if you want me, that's a part of me.
True. And just a random question came across my mind because I'm in the world of dating as well. And someone posed this question to me, and I'm going to pose the same question to you. Because as women, the lines of sexuality is so blurred nowadays. And you could be dating a man who is bisexual, a man who is gay. And I just don't know these terms. So
listen, I'm not dating no man that's bisexual, because bisexual means you're gay. Either way, to me, if you're attracted to men, you already got enough dealing with other women. You got to deal with, if he gonna like another woman and another man, like I'm cool.
But sometimes a guy will never tell you. So as women, we have to look for these warning signs. So one warning sign someone told me, and I want to see if you agree. They said if a guy smokes hookah, that means he's gay.
If a guy smokes hookah, he's gay.
What do you think?
I hate hookah, so I don't know, because I'm not really a big proponent for hookah or being around it. It does something to my throat, and being that I'm a singer, I try to stay away from it as much as possible. I don't know. That's random, but I tell you this: I was pretty much raised in Atlanta, so my dart is really strong, real strong. So hookah aside, I'll be looking like, what? Wait a minute. Girl.
So speaking of upbringing, were you born and raised in Detroit, or were you just raised for a portion of your life in Detroit?
A portion of my life in Detroit. I was born there, raised for a portion of my life. My dad got custody, and then I moved to Alabama. And then Georgia was a big part of my life because my dad's from Georgia originally. You know how Southerners migrate to Chicago, Detroit. But so my family was College Park. So every other summer I would go to College Park, or I would go to Detroit. So that's just a part of me.
Yeah, we see the different parts of you, especially this season. Wow, your Detroit.
Detroit came out.
Your Detroit came out. When I go down south to visit my family in Florida, they know when the New York Brooklyn girl comes out. So we're gonna
listen. That I stayed mild. That was mild, and I'm because I worked on myself.
Me too.
Well, God's still working on me.
Oh yeah. I prayed the other day not to curse a woman out. I literally stood in the middle of the street and I said, God, please don't make me go and curse this woman out. And I'm sorry to say, but the prayer didn't work.
I mean, we're human, we slip and fall, just, but as long as we bounce back into the grace God, because
Yeah.
we were given grace for a reason. And
Yeah.
also my son is teaching me because he is so sweet and so loving,
Aw.
like his mama, but
Yeah.
he also is fire, and he will go from 0 to 1,000.
Real quick.
And it's just, yes. And I'm looking at myself and I'm literally getting beat up by a toddler. Like, what do I do?
Yes. Oh, I know. I told you my daughter, she's 27. So she gives me the adult, I'm grown, realness vibe that we just, but he's my heart, my joy. We're like best friends. So it gets better. It gets
Yes.
better.
Oh, it's a journey, but I love that little person so
I'm
much.
sure you do. That's
He
your
is
only one.
everything.
It's only right.
Yes.
But you threw out a word a few moments ago called girl code. I want to talk about that because girl code is really important to me. I'm going to an event today with a whole bunch of females, and I had to ask the question, who's gonna be there? Because I need
Who gonna be there? You know, that's what you ask anyway. The family functions, anytime you go to somebody's house, who gonna be there?
who gonna be
That's the
there?
first question. Who over there?
So on the most recent episode, we saw Kimmy. What's her name? Is it Kimmy? Yeah.
Yes.
Kimmy.
Kimmy.
I had a brain freeze right now. We just saw Kimmy. She gathered all of the friends together, and it came to an explosion. And
They cut out in the scene when she came to the store, and I told her no, I wasn't coming because I wasn't feeling it and I didn't want to go. And she said, Kimmy's so funny. Bitch, if you had me, if you had me outside sitting down in the circle, you gonna come to my event. I'm like, golly, I can't get out of this.
I know. I'm telling you, I'm the same way. I text the person right before you join. I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. I'm protecting my energy. But you and Melody, you fell out because Melody overheard you having a conversation with Tisha.
Is that really why we fell out?
Allegedly.
Okay.
And I'm trying to really understand both sides. And I'm gonna be real with you.
Realness.
Yeah. I too would feel a certain way if my friend was talking to someone that I was having issues with. Could you not see that?
Absolutely. I'm not blind, and I never want to be, so, oh, well, she, whatever. But yeah, I can absolutely see that. That's why I made it a point to take time to sit down with her and talk to her and see how she felt and, tell her what I said and what the discussion was. And we got to an amicable place about it because it wasn't that heavy at the time. It wasn't heavy until the camera started rolling again. So, and then in that moment was the first time I really heard her say to me that, she felt like she was her enemy. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have, no one's going to make me choose or how to tell me how to choose people that I be friends. But at the same time, I would have had a certain level of boundary with Tisha had I known she really felt that way about her. And she tried to say to me in the scene at the cafe, well, you've been watching the show. I'm like, listen, I'm not no fan following no storyline. Like, where we at right now is you just had the lady at your house having tacos and we on FaceTime. And, I'm not knowing that you really got an issue with her. And she said, well, I didn't until she said what she said on the stage. So what she said on the stage to the time of after that, it was less than a day. So her coming to my room to check on me and see whatever. I mean, how am I supposed to, I'm always put in awkward situations with friends and other people, including Melody. Let's just say that.
But, just to add to that, as a viewer and a fan of the show, what I did see, and it wasn't, spoken about, Melody's hurt. And I know that hurt people. And it just seemed as if what she tried to capture with you having a conversation with Tisha, it didn't even seem like that was what she was really, really mad about.
There's layers to whatever she's feeling, and only she knows.
Right. And you can tell.
And that's just real talk.
Mm-hmm. You can tell that she still has internal feelings going on. I don't know if
absolutely.
Martell.
And it has nothing. And you know what? I had to realize that it has nothing to really do with me.
Exactly.
And ultimately, because we both went through very hard divorces. Exactly. Though she was with Martell for a long time, and that was like a life shattering, like her life pivoted. Right. I had started to pivot my life, and then it just didn't happen the way that I wanted it to. So there's hurt too. There was hurt, and there was pain, and we were there for each other. That's why I think we bonded so quickly because we bonded over trauma. And We bonded over like, fun girl being bosses first. And then we really bonded over trauma.
Okay.
And so for me, everybody's journey of healing is their journey. So all I can do is like I said, now, even after the things she said in social media and all these things that she's brought to light. And like I said, we both know where our bodies are buried. I just choose, because how I move as a friend is to never tell her.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I love her and I wish her the best from a distance.
Now we see another addition to the show, Stormi. If I had a dream.
I'm sorry, you cut up a little bit. What'd you say?
No, baby, give me a sip. That's alcohol in there.
I meant Brent with a mimosa.
But anyway, Stormi, she just seems to be Melody's puppet, for a lack of better words. Her storyline doesn't seem to be any relevant unless it is aligned to Melody's. Where are you and Stormi in your relationship? Did you bounce back from that huge argument at the Ponderosa?
Stormi texted me the next day after that Ponderosa and said that she wished that it could have went different. She played the scenario over in her head. Oh, first of all, the text message started out with, "Hey, babe." She wished that the situation had went different, and don't quote me per se, because they always try to say I'm a liar, girl. So I might lie according to them. But the premise of it was, I wish it could have been different, and let's sit down and talk. And so my initial thought was text back, "Nah, I'm good," because I'm still like on 10. My single, by the way, is called On 10. That's available now for y'all to get on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube. But I'm sorry, I had to plug it. Okay, so when she sent me the text message, I'm like, really? Like, that wasn't play for me. Like, so instead of me saying, "Nah, I'm good," because that would have been, so let me just get to a better place. The next day is not the day.
Right.
And they even wanted us to sit down and have a conversation. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not about to go to jail on y'all watch. So the answer to me sitting down with her the next day is no. However y'all take that, I might get slapped on the wrist by the principal, Carlos, but it's a no. It's a no. So anyway, as we move forward, I was told, "Oh, she has a gift for you. She really wants to apologize. She felt da-da-da-da-da. She wants to talk to you." And so tonight's episode shows that talk.
Okay, good.
And the talk wasn't what I was told I was walking into.
Oh, so when the cameras turned on, then people started changing again. Is that what happened? Okay.
I don't know if that's just who she is, because I met her as a pregnant woman, and maybe her vibe was different as a pregnant woman. I mean, she was super cool, but this person is something else. And for me, I have to remove myself from situations before I go to 10, because I don't have a middle ground.
Me either.
I don't have one.
Exactly.
It does not exist.
Exactly. So, yeah. I'm the same.
And I really do have a middle ground, but when I'm quiet and it's like people don't see that I'm brewing, and then it's just like Right. But I respect her for what she does. She's hustling. She has a great product that's not in Madonni. Somebody walked in yesterday and asked for it day before yesterday, but I directed them to the Madonni Growth Elixir, because we don't have her products in our store. Not that we didn't want them, but I'm just saying they're not there. So with that being said, I wish her continued success and happiness. Why are you laughing?
So I'm definitely going to be tuned in tonight, and like I tell my I'm not tuned into the live showing. I'm first thing Sunday morning. I'll be tuned in just to see how Stormi does it for the camera one more time, and how her story is connected to Melody's. And hopefully we'll see Stormi with her own storyline, so that we can figure out who Stormi really is. We're waiting just to find out who she is, aside from, being Melody's talk piece.
She's a marketing genius. I'll give her that.
She is. She is. We see through it. We see through it. But continued blessings to Stormi. But the sun will come out. Surely.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar tomorrow.
Okay, so this is a perfect segue into your music.
Oh, perfect segue to the music.
Yes.
Talk about important stuff.
Yes. Tell us. I had no idea that you are a singer. And then when I did more research, yes, you do have training, in acting, musical theater. And I said, damn it, that's another thing we have in common. I went to school for musical theater. So
listen, I try. First of all, I am a, church talent show singer. And I went to audition for performing arts college, and they had acting and a musical theater program. I am not musical theater because musical theater is it's big, right? And I'm like more of a rockin', R&B. But I auditioned, and because I do, thank God, have the ability to sing, they were like, well, we want you in the acting program, and then we can incorporate more singing classes because we really like you as an actress. Because I'm not a musical theater singer.
Okay.
But I still did it. But yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. Musical theater is an experience.
Yes.
In itself. And just people that are in musical theater, those are big personalities.
Oh, yes.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every day going to acting class or music class or ballet or dance or whatever it was. It was every day. And I just loved being in that environment.
So when did you decide to tap back into, the musicality of it all and say, I'm going to come out with a song? When did you decide to do that? So right when I met my ex-husband, I was still auditioning. I was still on the grind. I had just auditioned for The Voice. I had just made it to the last round before the chairs twice. This is the second year that this happened. And they were telling me I needed an upbeat song the first time. And so I brought an upbeat song because I like Etta James. I like, Whitney. I like old school like R&B classic songs. Anita Baker. So they wanted something more current. I didn't find that out until the second audition when I got to the producers again. But that point in my life, then I got into the corporate world and working really, really hard. And so I call it my heart song. And that's why they talk about chakras. So like your heart is connected to your throat chakra. And when my heart was doing so much work in my relationship, I didn't have the ability to sing. I literally couldn't get a note out. Like it just wouldn't happen. So for about 5-6 years, I did not sing. Wow.
At all. I did a commercial for Captain D's, and I did some auditions in Nashville for I was on Nashville and some other stuff. But ultimately, it didn't come back until I had Law, like my heart song, my desire to sing, and just singing to him. And then he started singing back, and Baby Boy got a little voice on. He can sing. It's so cute. And him starting to sing back to me, and it was just like, I just went through a whole bunch. So I want to put this out. I want to get this out. I want to get back to that little girl's dream. And so that's how it all happened.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that because, if you let the streets tell it, because the streets are always talking, the streets always think they know. They're like, oh, she's coming
I'm
out.
a copycat.
Melody came out, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I'm a copycat. I just started singing yesterday because Melody did. Okay, that's right. Right. We bonded over that too. That was something else we bonded over. And I even talked to her about it'd be so dope if we did something together. Once I release something enough to do something together, because I'm a big proponent. I just don't say it. But for women doing stuff together, because there's so much more power in numbers, and women getting together on a positive front is just powerful.
Yes.
It just is.
Yeah.
So, so no. Huh?
What's the name of the song?
The name of the song is On 10. On 10, and it's available now on all streaming avenues. And I am so excited and nervous at the same time because this is my first time releasing music to the world.
Wow. So what has the reception been so far? What have people said about the music after they've heard it?
Are you ready for this journey that it's about to take you on?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you could sing like that, or wow. And just, my friends that know me are like, finally. So yeah, that's been a couple of things, but it's been more my close circle because it just dropped yesterday.
Oh,
So I'm just now telling people about it today.
nice.
Well, that are not in my close circle, but I'm about to put some things out there to let y'all know it's available and you can get it.
So when are you going back into the studio to record new music so that we can be on the lookout for that?
I already have a second song, and that's gonna be soon.
Wait a minute. I just searched.
Did you download it? Did you download a screenshot it and send it to me? Because I'm gonna put it on my story.
Woo! Not the beat drop. Ooh! That's why I'm a 10. I'm a blast on the streets of Brooklyn today.
You better twerk, Sanya.
Let me tell you, I love a good song. I love a good vibe. And I've only listened to a first, few beats. Oh, yeah. It's on 10. It's on 10.
Thank you.
Oh, the
Thank
streets
you
of
so
Brooklyn
much.
and Harlem, they're going to hear this tonight.
Thank you so much for downloading it. I appreciate it.
This is what we do. We support each other. And I'm so happy that you reopened Madonni Beauty.
Yes. The relaunch is what I call it.
Congratulations to you. I know that the pandemic, it ushered in a lot, but the reason of your bounce back, this is what we love to see. Everybody goes through it. Everybody struggles. We love that you even shared your story about that. So
because a lot of people hide behind theirs and act like it's all good. I didn't really want to share a lot of it, but I felt like it was necessary and it made sense to real people. Like, because we go through peaks and valleys. Everybody's thing is not onward and upward.
yes,
it's down and up, down and up. And you just and it teaches you in the down period to stay focused on the up, what was up, and the blessings that you have received. And so for me, it's like, even now, like just going through people saying, oh, well, she was on this and she did that. I'm like, it was a part of my journey, but I'm on the other side of that now. So I'm grateful to God for that.
Exactly. So, we're going to wrap this up because, you're at brunch and you're talking to, I know that
the window.
I heard the deep bass in the voice. Tell them I said hi.
No, you did not. You didn't hear nothing. Listen, there's nobody there. It's the window over there.
Well, Destiny, I'm going to send you a screenshot of, me downloading your single on 10, available across streaming platforms. It is definitely
ma'am.
out to you. Madonni Beauty for all of your beauty products.
Absolutely.
What else can we support you in? Tell us.
So Madonni Beauty online, Madonni Beauty at 1010 Jordan Lane, Huntsville, Alabama, 35816. DestinyPayton.com is about to go live, but until then, you can get the On 10 single by Destiny Payton on any of the streaming avenues. And Madonni and Destiny are going on a beauty tour. And my goal is to help people that want to get in the beauty industry. It's starting to become so much bigger than just me having a store and the legacy of it. It's starting to be, let's take back Black. Take back our Black. And because I get so many DMs about people wanting to get into the beauty industry in some form or facet. So be it me helping them figure out an online store, me helping them get their brick and mortar together, me literally negotiating their leases and their purchases for them. I feel like that's my purpose and my mission right now.
And I like that. I like that you combined your real estate profession history with the beauty, because you can definitely, show people how to pick out stores, how to sign those leases, So yeah, that's good stuff, Destiny.
And on top of that, Madonni Beauty has their own product line. So Madonni has their our first product line, which is called the Glow Up Collection. which is a brow growth enhancer, which is a brow serum to help your brows grow. We have a hair growth elixir. I'm sorry, brow growth enhancer. Let me get the names right. And hair growth elixir for hair growth, which I used and it works. And my vitamin C serum for your skin. So these are all 3 products that I used right after I had Law to get my glow back. That's why I call it the Glow Up Collection.
Send me some, Destiny. I'm begging.
Listen, send me an address and I will get you some samples.
Yeah,
and then you can do a review and tell everybody about it.
Oh, most definitely. I'm a firm believer in vitamin C. It has changed my life.
Listen, I even have men using my Skin Glow and they love it.
Really? Oh, it's unisex. Oh, that's
yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
It's a window. That window is nice.
Destiny, thank you so much for blessing Sanya On-Air. I'm going to be tuned in tonight to Love and Marriage Huntsville. And, we will continue to support you in everything that you do because you're beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're perfect. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, love. Okay, so there you have it. Destiny Payton, let's just get her out of the studio. Destiny Payton-Williams of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Great stuff. Great conversation. Let me tell you something. I had a whole bunch of notes that I typed up. I don't even know where it is. It's over there. But this is what it is to just have a purposeful, meaningful conversation with my Sanya On-Air guests. I'm really invested. Well, not invested, child. I got a life. But I'm tuned in. I'm always leaned into Love and Marriage Huntsville from the first season. I believe this is season 3 or 4. Yeah, don't quote me on that. Either season 3 or 4. And I've been an avid watcher ever since season 1. And Destiny is really giving us a lot. At first, we didn't really know who she was. Very tight-lipped. And I guess it's because, you don't want the whole world knowing your business. But then once you sign that contract and you put a storyline on television, the fans feel entitled to know your business. So how dare you go on any type of television show and not show us who you are? So I guess, Destiny got the message. She got more comfortable with being in front of the camera because remember, she was just a friend of Melody and Martell initially. And now she's a full-time cast member. So we are seeing the evolution, the emergence of Destiny Payton-Williams, and we're liking what we see. We love that she is standing in her truth. And I'm serious about that line of questioning that I asked her. We know that Melody started the show, or maybe you didn't know. Melody did start the show. And, she created the show. But there seems to be a lot of favoritism. And I guess I would probably want the same thing too. Damn it, if I was the creator of this show, you're gonna show my good side. But it just really seems, and I love Carlos King too. He's been on the show. Carlos, come back on my show so we can talk about this. But it does seem as if Carlos is showing some favoritism to Melody. Like they are just kikiing and just throwing shade to everyone else. He even had Melody as his first guest on his new late night talk show, which is great. I like the talk show. It's very shady. Very, very shady. But this is what you want to see, people. This is what sells. Speaking of what sells, just briefly, because I don't want to give this any more light than it recently has, but the recent death of Kevin Samuels. Do you know that initially when he started his podcast, he was talking about men and how they must do better. No one was watching, no ratings, no engagement. And he took that, and what media personality wouldn't, or what person in the digital space, you have to look at the analytics. And if you don't see the dial moving forward, then you change the recipe, you change your footprint, you change what you're doing. So because Kevin Samuels' initial content wasn't getting any engagement because it was just about men, he wanted to get the likes, he wanted to get the views, he wanted to get those engagement numbers up. So he said, well, I'll just do what I know works. We know that Black women are the largest audience in the digital space. They're the largest consumer, so I'll talk about them. And it totally changed his analytics. It totally changed his numbers of engagement, and everything went through the roof. It went through the roof. Everyone has permission to talk about Black women. Everyone has permission to talk about Black women. So I'm just tired of seeing things that just sell, and that's just the focal point. And I just really wish that people would just get back to being responsible and just navigating through the uncomfortable moments and not really seeing the engagement until people really subscribe to that as the norm. And then when that happens, once people subscribe to that new norm of just seeing responsible media and responsible content, then we'll see those numbers of engagement go up. But yeah, Destiny was a pure joy to talk to. And I hope that you enjoyed my entertainment review with Meredith Leon McCormick. Make sure that you also follow her on social media. Make sure that you go to her website as well. Make sure that you also download On 10. I really had to play the songs. If it wasn't good, I was going to tell her. Live on air. Yeah, I'm that girl. I'll tell you. It's like, so I was in a quandary. Maybe you can help me respond to this episode. So, have you ever been invited to an event where you know that you don't like everyone in the room? Me. How do you approach going into that space? So I was, talking to a few close, well, not a few, maybe like 2 close friends. And I'm just like, when you go into a room and there's people that you don't like and they go in to hug you, the fake hug, is it okay for me to say, let's build up to the hug? People told me that was rude. So give me advice. What would you do if you enter into a room and someone wants to hug you and you don't want to hug them because the relationship just isn't there anymore? Give me some advice. Okay, make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's Sanya_On-Air. Make sure that you subscribe to every Sanya On-Air streaming platform. YouTube, iHeart, Pandora, Alexa, you name it. Sanya On-Air is there. What else? Billboards. Have amazing billboards across 41 cities. I'm also in the process of designing new Sanya On-Air Empower merch. I have my high school interns helping me out with that because, like I told you, they have their pulse to the streets. They are very, very fashionable, these kids. So they are currently designing, their first project is to design a fabulous beach towel. So we have some slogans. Let me tell you this one slogan one of my interns came up with, and you tell me if you like it. I lived for it, but I was just like, she's trying to get me into a little fisticuff on the beach of Saint-Tropez. So the slogan that she came up with for a beach towel is, this beach towel wraps around me like your man's arms. Do you like it? Ain't it shady? Might get you into a little fisticuff though. But I love it. But I don't know if I should use it. So let's vote. Should I put that slogan should I put that slogan or that sentence on a beach towel? Let me repeat what it is. This beach, no. Let me start again. Damn, I'm so theatrical. That's that musical theater. That's the dance. That's the drama. In me. Formal training, y'all. Okay. This is the slogan. This towel wraps around me like your man's arms. Vote now. Vote now. Hit me up on Instagram, Sanya_On-Air, or just comment under this episode. I was going to tell you to email me, but you ain't even got to email me. But if you're interested in a billboard so that you can increase your brand's visibility, email me at Sanya@SanyaOnAir.net. I think that's it. That's it. I'm done. Go figure out my car situation. You all had to hear me on the phone with the mechanic. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be 95 degrees here in New York City for the first time in May. I'm going outside. I'll talk to you later, loves. Smooches.